Hello mga ka-teach! I am back with another video. How many of you are still wondering about these three famous teaching certificates that you always see as part of the requirements or qualifications of a teaching position posted on social media platforms, namely TEFL, TESOL, and CELTA? How many has been thinking, what are the differences of these three? Do you need to get all of the certificates to be qualified? Or just one certificate is enough? Have you ever thought which one is the best and which one should you take first? Well, for today's video, I'm gonna talk about these three training programs to guide you if you are planning to get one of them. So, stay tuned. By the way, I am Miss Adelle. I am a licensed professional teacher at TEFL and TESOL certified, an ESL trainer, and currently the general manager of an online company. Now, let's start off by differentiating each from the other. Let's start understanding the keywords first para mas maintindihan nating lahat. So let's talk about the first keyword, which is EFL. EFL means English as a foreign language. When we say English as a foreign language, this is an English taught to a non-native English speaker in a non-English speaking country. So let's take a look to an example given here. Now let's say a Japanese learns English in Japan. So notice that Japanese is a non-native English speaker, and then Japan is a non-English speaking country. This kind of teaching English is what we call EFL. And teaching this EFL is called TEFL, or teaching English as a foreign language. Now let's proceed to the second keyword. Okay, the second keyword is ESL, or it is an acronym which means English as a second language. So when we say ESL, this is an English taught to a non-native English speaker in an English-speaking country. Let's take a look at the example given. So a Chinese learns English in the US. Chinese is a non-native English speaker. US is an English-speaking country. So this kind of learning English is what we call ESL. And when you teach ESL, that is what we call TESOL, or teaching English as a second language. So there is a common question in here. Is there any difference between English taught to non-native English speakers in Japan and in the US? Technically, yes. Now, there is a slight difference, especially with the teaching strategies. However, in general, it is the same because, both of them are learning English. Okay? That Japanese student learning EFL and that Chinese student learning ESL are both speakers of other languages. Now, the third important keyword is ESOL. Okay, it is an acronym which means English to speakers of other languages. In the eye of a native English speaker, EFL and ESL are both ESOL. No? Therefore, TEFL and TESL are both TESOL. You got it? So TESOL here now is teaching English to speakers of other languages. TEFL and TESOL are the same thing, with a very slight technical difference, but generally it's the same. Because of that, there is a common question number 2 here. So which is better then, or which should I take? Well, that depends on your future plans. So if you plan to stay at home and teach in your home country, you consider taking TESOL. However, if you are looking at teaching English as a more temporary arrangement abroad, like gusto nyong mag-abroad eventually in the future, and gusto nyong magturo ng English in other countries, because we have Asian countries which are actually getting Filipino English teachers, like in Japan, in Korea, in Thailand, in Vietnam, Indonesia, in Malaysia, also in China, right? So if you want to teach sa mga countries na yon ng English later on, then please consider taking TEFL or the TEFL certificate. Maybe you might still be wondering why other institutions say they offer TEFL or TESOL only. Well, the answer is easy and clear because they just want distinction. They want to be distinguished from other training centers. So there are issues surrounding the certificates or trainings concerning TEFL or TESOL, such as may fake ba? Accredited ba yung certificate ko? Is it being honored abroad, especially the employers? So yung unang tanong here is there such thing as a fake TEFL or TESOL certificate? Ang answer is, of course, napakalaking yes. Ang dami ngayon ang mga fake na TEFL or TESOL certificates. So, beware sa mga newbie teachers or yung mga naghahangad na magkaroon ng certificates. You cannot fool the employers. Akala siguro ninyo hindi namin alam kung saan nyo pinagkukuha yung mga certificates ninyo. Okay? So, we have our own ways to know if your certificate is real or not. Mahirap doon. Pag nalaman namin na hindi real yung certificate mo, magkakaroon pa ng problema sa application mo. So, ano yung mga iba't ibang fake na certificates? Marami ngayon naglipa na sa online world, especially sa Facebook. Yung mga nagme-message sa inyo o di kayo nagpo-post ng kanilang mga advertisements na sinasabi na tutulungan nila kayo makakuha ng TEFL or TESOL certificates. Na pag i-message mo sila, sasabihin lang sa'yo is, just give me your name, bigay mo sa akin yung name mo, yung address mo, ako nang bahala ng certificate mo. O, diba? So, bayaran mo lang ako ng 500 or 1,000 pesos. Ganon. Okay? Meron pa nga yata 200 or 300 pesos. And then, ako na bahala sa certificates mo. So, they will just do it by themselves. And then, isasend lang nila sa'yo yung certificate mo, yung TEFL or yung TESOL certificate mo. So, meron pang isang site na yun yung isa sa napakarami kong nakikita na certificates na sinasubmit sa akin ng mga applicants na tatapusin mo lang actually in 30 minutes. Sometimes kapag mabilis ka, kasi may mga YouTubers na sinasabi na pati yung answers, no? So, hindi ka na talaga mag-iisip. Come on, no? Don't fool yourselves. Kung makakalusot man ang mga employers ba ang finul mo, it's not, no? You are fooling yourself. Kasi ang mga certificates na to ay supposed to be tutulong sa'yo, no? To hone or enhance your teaching strategies. Hindi naman kami, no? Or kaming mga companies ang magbe-benefit dyan, kundi kayo mismo ang magbe-benefit dyan sa sarili ninyo. And you will just, allowing yourself to pay na wala namang trainings. This is a training, para ma-hone mo, ma-enhance mo yung teaching skills mo. Okay, so is there such thing as certified or accredited TEFL or TESOL certificates? Okay. The biggest problem with the TEFL or the TESOL industry is the lack of regulation. Anyone can create a TEFL course or a TESOL course, market, and sell it. Inevitably, this means that there are hundreds of courses to choose from, many of which are low quality. Some are even created as a means of exploiting badly informed potential trainees with promises of high-quality trainings at rock-bottom prices. Because this is a sad fact in the TEFL and the TESOL industry. There is nothing called TEFL or TESOL accreditation nor regulation. Walang iisang body na nag-accredit ng mga TEFL or TESOL certificates. Like for example, sa Pilipinas, so if you're offering, for example, you are a school, or you are just a private entity and you want to establish your own training center, meron tayong mga accreditation bodies, right? Or may nag-regulate sa atin. It's either we are under CHED or we are under TESDA. Sila yung parang nagre-regulate. But for the TEFL or the TESOL, sad to say, wala talaga. Okay, so you can just, take any kinds of trainings you want from a training center. As long as, of course, the training center ay license, no, under the government policies, no. So these courses have no fixed course content. Sinabi ko na nga kanina, wala siyang fixed course content kasi nga wala namang regulation, walang standards, walang duration, material, or assessment criteria. So each training provider presents TEFL or TESOL in a different way. Okay, so please take note that TEFL or TESOL refers to the manner of teaching English. Yung training mo kung paano mo mag-teach ng English, it's not a specific type of certificate. So any sort of training for teaching English is TEFL or TESOL. Kaya yung mga nagko-question, no, paano yung mga in-house namin? Like sa 5-1 Talk, yata meron silang in-house TEFL trainings. I think also ACADSOC has its own in-house TEFL training. These are valid. Ang mga certificates ninyo na galing sa 5-1 Talk or ACADSOC, no, ay valid. Kasi nga, meron talagang program ang 5-1 Talk. 5-1 Talk is an entity. May license yan to operate. ACADSOC itself is also an entity na may license to operate. Therefore, ang kanilang trainings, TEFL or TESOL's trainings at certificate na binibigay ay considered valid. In reality, ang labanan na lang ay yung preference ng mga employers. I-recognize ba ng employer ang iyong certificate or not? Now, ito ngayon ang basihan ng isang employer to say that your certificate, your TEFL or your TESOL certificate course is good. First one, at least 100 hours training to be internationally accepted by employers. So there must be a face-to-face classes, no? Most employers don't prefer online TEFL or TESOL courses. I remember when I took my TESOL course, I took it in a university, part ng kanilang curriculum. 6 months kung tinapos yon, 120 hours. Face-to-face classes yon. The training must be comprehensive. So meron ka dapat mga language teaching skills na dapat pag-aralan, language awareness. Dapat meron ka ding practice teaching. Okay, sa akin noon is 10 hours. Mga iba, 6 hours ay okay na, no? But for others, you must have a 10 hours practice teaching. Practicum, no, ang tawag doon. So, kailangang magturo ka, no, na ng 10 hours. You have to render that. Okay? You have to take all the necessary assessment criteria also para maipasa mo yung course na yon. Okay, so there must be a professional development guidelines. So even, pagkatapos mo ng training na yon, kailangang tulungan ka pa rin, no, ng school or ng training center para sa ganun makakuha ka ng trabaho, abroad man yan or local. And it must be represented by qualified trainers. Alright, and the last certificate, CELTA, is an acronym which means Certificate in English Language Teaching for Adults. So it was actually invented by Cambridge University. Since it is invented by the Cambridge University, it is the British Council or the Cambridge University ang nagre-regulate nito. Therefore, ang CELTA is higher than TEFL and TESOL because may regulations. Meron accreditation, the British Council will do it. So it's 120 training hours with a set of material and course structure. So bigay din yan dapat ng Cambridge University. So it is internationally recognized qualifications. It's for adults, no? Not for kids. For TEFL and TESOL, more on young learners yon. But for CELTA, it's more on adults. It's a TEFL or TESOL training for teaching adults. There are other certificates or trainings, no, that you may take, but these 3 are the most famous so far. So I hope you learned something from today's topic. Again, if you have some questions about it, please message me or leave your messages below. So there, teachers, thank you for your time and have a nice day, mga ka-teach. See you on my next video. Bye!